Back to Hanger 51. I'm sorry I'm late. As soon as you guys get here, I'll get into it. But yeah, not a great start. Guys, I know you're getting a notification. Let's see how many of you get in here. I'm an hour late, almost exactly an hour late, aren't I? Yeah, just about right on the money, an hour late. Oh well. I have to remember to fix this damn lock. How that even worked. Huh. Who's here? Oh, Bill, what's up? How you doing, man? All right, so I saw a post. Something about your truck? I just saw it just before I clicked the go live button, so I have no idea what it's about. I just caught a glimpse of it on the way in. I know. Sorry, sorry, Mike. I'll get to it in a minute. Hey, oh God, not a great day. Not a very great day, but just had so much on my mind, I completely lost track of what the hell that I was supposed to be doing a video. Um, yeah, it was it's my bad. Sorry, guys. So uh, Michael's also here. What's it? How you doing there? What is it? How do you say that? Lamberlino, Labernino. I'm sure I'm messing that up. uh, oh my God. Yeah, better late than never. Yep, I agree. That's why I'm here. You know. All right. So I'll just get into it. I'm not going to get into big details. I do have some good news, but so my ex came into town to get her stuff, and that went okay. Nothing to complain about. Just a little aggravating, but not too bad. I mean, she didn't take all of her stuff, and now she wants me to just get rid of it, and that's okay. I mean, you know, I hate having to take her stuff to Goodwill or to the church, but it's okay. Not mad at her. It's fine. And I'm more upset that her kids, well, actually, her son-in-law and her grandkid broke her fairly new TV that was in storage, moving it, and that upset me. I mean, doesn't hurt me at all, but I just feel bad. I feel bad that the TV got broke. So I'm not, just irritates me when things like that happen. And it was, there was an accident. It happens. I just that kind of bummed me out that all this time we've been keeping everything clean and neat and saving it, and then it gets broke. So anyway, and then let's see. Other than that, it went well. She got some of her clothes and some other stuff, and that went fine. And then tonight was church night, and we had a movie tonight, and the movie didn't play well. And I ended up just leaving. I got very frustrated. Um, so I'm not going to go any farther with that. So I just left, and so I needed to cool off, and I was watching the NASCAR truck race out in San Diego, California, at the naval base, and I got into watching the highlights of that, and completely forgot I had a show to do. It finally dawned on me. I'm like, oh shit. So here I am. Anyway, So just a lot of things in my head, yeah. So that's why I'm late. But anyway, I'm here, and thank you guys for coming. Jeff from Lower Alabama. Jeff, good to see you, Jeff. So anyway, you know, it is what it is. Not a big deal, but I just lost my train of thought. Hey, Beeman, what's going on? Um, so so anyway, it's not a good excuse. Just I'm not trying to make an excuse. I'm just telling you what the hell happened and where my head was and why I'm late. You know, just had one of those days. Couldn't get my head straight. I almost went to a car show after I left the church, and I if I had gone to that, I probably would have been really late because I'd probably still be at the car show. Um, on another note, car show wise, we have a Quaker Steak and Lube here in Florida. You might have one where you live. They're scattered all over the country, and ours is closing next week. And the reason it's closing is because some developer threw so much money at him that he had to sell the property, and they're going to put an apartment building up. Yay! That's just what we need, another apartment building. So they're going to destroy the Quaker Steak and Lube, and we're losing that pretty neat restaurant. Great car show every week. They have a bike show and a car show every week, and we're losing that. And then I don't know what they're going to do with there's all these cars and motorcycles and jets and boats inside the restaurant, hanging from the ceiling, the walls, all over the place. And I don't know what they're going to do with all that stuff. There's a Dale Jr. NASCAR hanging over the bar. It's a real car, just no engine and tranny in it, but it's a real car. And because you can see underneath the whole roll cage structure and where the tranny tunnel is and all that. So I don't know where that's going to go. And I don't know if you guys remember, Roger Moore, James Bond, flew a little Beatty jet in one of the movies. That jet's hanging in this particular Quaker Steak and Lube. So I don't know what they're going to do with that. And then there's a race boat, and there's a Corvette, like a 70. I don't know what year it is. It's the old Stingray, but after the chrome bumpers, when they put the urethane bumpers on it. So I think that's maybe 78, maybe. Beautiful T-top Corvette hanging on the wall. And I don't know what they're going to do with that. And there's a bunch of motorcycles and a whole lot more cars, but those are just the key ones that kind of, I would like to have any of those, honestly. But anyway, so that little bad news there. Gonna miss that place. I really like that place. It's kind of a cool place to go. Let's see what else. I guess the good news, kind of. So my G8 had an oil leak. It got pretty bad, and I'm not sure I cured it. I thought it was the valve covers because I got under the car with it running, and I'm looking where the oil looks like it's coming from, and it looked to me like there was some weepage coming out of the driver's side valve cover in the back, running down on the header, and causing oil to burn on the header pipe. And especially when I would rev it up, because then the top of the engine gets full of oil, because it pumps it all up to the top, and then it, makes the leak even worse. And so I changed the valve cover gaskets, and I got to tell you guys, I have worked on so many cars over the years doing valve cover jobs on every kind of motor, and this was the easiest freaking thing. This LS motor, oh my God. What a joy to work on. Holy crap. I mean, both valve covers have the coil packs mounted on the valve cover. And all the coils are mounted to a bracket that's held onto the valve cover with 5 screws. And all the wiring is all pre-done on the sprocket. So there's one plug, just one big massive plug that you unplug, and then unplugs all the coils. You take 5 screws out, and the whole thing just lifts. Oh, you got to unplug each plug wire, and the whole thing just lifts off in one big unit, and it completely exposes the valve cover. It's ready to come off. So you do that on both sides within minutes to get that off. It's an LS2, LS3. It's an LS2 6-liter, but I believe the G8 has LS3 heads on it. I could be wrong. I think I read that somewhere. Haven't confirmed that, but yeah, it's an LS2 6-liter, not the 6.2. That was in the the GXP version of the G8, the higher dollar one, the fancier one. That had the 6.2 in it. Mine's got the 6.0, and so once you get the coil packs off, there's only 4 bolts right down the middle. Kind of, if you're a Chevy guy, you know that they've been doing that for a long time, but they have really stepped it up now. This is, I mean, when you take these off, there's these big thick grommets that are wedged. So when they tighten down, they tighten into a wedge, which centers the valve cover over the flattened head. It's a flat surface that the valve cover sits on, and the valve cover gasket is an O-ring. Basically, it's a molded O-ring that fits. There's 3 little loops at the bottom of the cover, and then it just goes around and straight across the top and around the other side, and then there's just 3 little humps. And the valve cover gasket is molded to that, so it just literally snaps into a groove. Okay, there's a groove that it actually sits down into, and I don't want to say it snaps in, but it kind of goes in and stays in. It doesn't fall out. You put it in there, and it's down in there, and it and it just stays there. So super easy to get the valve covers off. Each one had a return line, like a vent, going back to the intake manifold in 2 different places. One went into the intake plenum right after the air filter, and the other one went right back into the intake itself. And you just pop these quick connects off of those and bring the hose out with the valve cover and clean them up, put them back together with the new valves, the new little wedge rings, and it's just fantastic. I mean, what a super easy job. Oh my God. So I don't smell the oil burning anymore, but I still have a leak. And it looks like I'm all new to LS motors, so I'm learning as I go. But I got underneath it again, and I'd already tightened up all the oil pan gaskets, but I didn't notice it the first time, but I noticed it now. And it appears, because it's a cast aluminum oil pan. I mean, a heavy-duty cast aluminum oil pan that acts basically, from what it looks like, as part of the transmission mount. You actually mount the oil pan to the motor and snug it down, and then there's 2 bolts from the transmission, the part that covers the torque converter. That actually two of the lower bolts go into the valve or into the oil pan. The oil pan's got meaty lugs areas, so that there's threads in it, and you bolt the transmission to the oil pan. At least that's what it looks like to me. I'm going to confirm that later. I'm going to loosen those 2 bolts from the transmission and retorque the back 2 bolts of the oil pan, and then retighten the transmission. The bell housing. Thank you. I couldn't come up with that one. Thank you, Craig. I was having a brain fart. Senior moment. Yeah, that's what it. Anyway, so I'm going to try that, and it looks like I've got a little leak from the probably the rear main, and I don't know if tightening it up will help or not. I did put some Lucas oil stop leak in the car just to go over all the seals and revitalize them a little bit. So we'll see what happens. I think that slowed the leak down. Like I said, I'm not smelling it burning oil anymore, so it's not running down on the headers. So I believe that the valve cover gaskets did need to be replaced, but that wasn't the total source of my oil leak. So I'll keep you posted on that. But just we had to share with how easy it was to change those valve cover gaskets. I mean, my God, that was fun to work on. It was just so easy to get to it, and everything just came off and went on, and just man, what a simple job that was. I mean, pulling the old gasket off, you don't have to take a scraping tool and scrape the surface to clean it. None of that. It's just an O-ring. You pull the O-ring out of the. I just sprayed it all down with brake clean. Took a scrub brush and just kind of hit the hard spots that were dirty and rinsed it off. With some more brake clean, and bam, just ready to go back together. So yeah, just a really really cool setup. Yeah, well, that's what I've been hearing, Craig, and I'm dealing with it. It's not a horrible leak. It's not too bad. It was. I mean, literally the other night I bought a set of used um so that when I bought the car, it came with Camaro SS wheels on it, 20-inch Camaro wheels. And they don't fit the car exactly. I mean, they bolt down okay, but they're a little too wide in the back, and then 20-inch, a little too tall. The car didn't come with 20-inch wheels. It came with 18s or 19s, and he gave me when I bought the car. He gave me the original 18s, no tires though, just the wheels. And so I wanted to get these Camaro wheels off of it. I wasn't a huge fan of them. I mean, they were terrible, but I was a little scared about the rubbing because it's the cut in the sidewall of the tire, the inner fender lip. If the car compresses too low, going over a bump or a turn or whatever, and it cuts the sidewall, and it actually pulled the lip down at one point. So I took a hammer and I tapped it back up in place, and I wanted to get and I don't have money to buy tires right now. It's going to cost me $500 to put tires on my 18-inch wheels. So I was looking for a set of takeoffs, and I found a set of 19s that already had tires mounted, and he only wanted $200 for the 19-inch wheels with tires. And I was like, well, hell, I can't pass that up. So I bought those, which is the nicer five-spoke wheel on the G8 than the 18-inch. Both of them look pretty good, but I think the 19s look a little better. And so I put them on my balancer, and I balanced them all. And then I mounted them on the car, and then I was going to go take a test drive, and I looked under the car, and literally I had an oil, not a drip. It was pouring oil. And now it was a very, very thin oil, but it was consistent. It wasn't a drip. And so I don't know how much oil it was really spewing, but it was more than I was comfortable driving the car, so I didn't take the car for a drive. And I put it on the lift, and I figured out what I thought was what the problem was, and that's why I did the valve covers. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted on that. But I did take the car for after I did the valve covers. I did take it for a drive, and with those tires balanced on my balancer, man, that thing just drives smooth as glass. It tracks perfectly straight. It just, yeah. So really happy with the tires. I can't find my programmer to program the TPMS, the TPS tire pressure monitors. I bought one of those little tools to program it, and I can't find it. I've already done all the car. I did the truck. I did the Charger. I tried to do the Pontiac twice, and it didn't work. And then the last ones I did was Deb's Cadillac. I reprogrammed her tires when I put new tires on her car before she left, and I can't find the damn program. I don't know where it went. So I didn't get to program the tire sensors on this, so they still don't work. But the nice drive's nice, and I like the wheels. They look good. So, Juno, what's up? How you doing, man? And so anyway, so that's my update on all that. Um, So the cops pulled you over they just wanted to look at your car, or I mean, did they want to look inside the car? Was this just one of those bait you into letting them do you know a search in your car to see if they could find something to arrest you for? One of those illegal search deals, or were they interested in the car? Why did they pull you over? Yeah, Craig, exactly. So, a lot of people like to put the oversized tires on it. And one thing I really hate, and a lot of guys did it with the Impala, they don't want the wheels under the fenders. They put spacers or whatever to push the wheels all the way out so that literally the outside lip of the tire is out past the fender by a half an inch. And personally, I hate that look. I think that looks awful. Um, but that's what some people like, and I personally hate that. And the Camaro wheels on this were not to that point, but they were sticking out farther than the stock wheels, and they were still under it. So that part looked okay. I just didn't like the rub. I didn't like the tire getting cut by the inner fender, and I especially didn't like seeing the fender get pulled down, bent down by the tire. So that's what upset me. So like I said, I got up in there and I tapped it all back into where it belonged, and then I wanted to get those wheels off. And like I said, I cleaned the 18s all up to put tires on them, but I just don't have money for tires right now. So I passed on. I just bought the wheel and tire combo for $200, and so that's going to be fine for right now. And I got new headlights for the car. My headlights were terrible. The guy had, I don't know who did it. I don't know how many owners this car's had, but they put LED headlights in it that had fans on them because they get so hot that they had to mount a fan on each bulb, the high beam and the low beam, to keep it cool enough to not melt the housing, and it melted it anyway. So my housings were melted, so they're not airtight. There's all types of moisture inside the headlight lens. So every night when the dew comes out, my headlights look like an aquarium. They're just full of water. It's just running down the inside of the lens. And I'm so sick of looking at that. And they were in bad shape anyway. The outside was peeling. It needed one of those, 3,000 grit sand. You got to work up to that. You start with 600 and go to 1,000, 1,200, 1,500, 1,800, 2,000, 3,000, and buff it, and then your headlights look new again. Well, if it wasn't for the sealing being melted from the stupid headlights, I probably would have gone that route. But since they were leaking and everything else, I bought brand new aftermarket headlights. And I was going to just replace them with the stock ones, but the stock ones were $400. And they're not even factory stock ones, just stock appearing, $400. So I bought one that I thought looked pretty good. It's a little different, but they were only $200, $197, I think, for the pair. And they came with bulbs and everything. And it's got LEDs in a little strip that runs down the side and around underneath the bottom. And it's got a separate marker light and a separate turn signal. So the turn signal blinks. The marker light stays lit all the time. And then you've got your high beam. It's a projector high beam, the capsule projector lenses, and then, or the low beam. And then the high beam is just a high beam. And I thought they looked pretty good, and the price was right. So I bought those a while ago, but I haven't put them on yet. So I'm going to do that right now, probably maybe tonight. I might do it tonight. I'm going to just quickly try my uh, oil pan bolt tighten up, and then I might do the headlights tonight. Well, I haven't put them in yet, so I don't know how they fit. But I've seen them. I saw one other person put them on their car. I've watched a bunch of videos. I've only seen one person install them, and it was a girl that did the install, and she didn't really show her installing them. She just, a quick couple of screws to unbolt the bumper cover, not a full everything you have to do, and then a quick remove and unplug the headlight, and then just a quick plug in the new headlight and put it in the bucket, and then she's done. And she shows the car with the cover back on, the headlights in, the bumper cover back on, and they look good. I like the way they look. That was the only set that I liked. That looked good, and as that I liked, and that's what she had, and I do like them. They look good on the car, so they seem to fit good. So when I put them in, I'll let you know. I'll give you an update on how well they went in and how well they work and everything. But and not only were mine the high beam, or I should say the low beam on the right side wasn't working at all. So I only had a high beam on the left side, and it was aimed way over to the left. So the aim was wrong. I was trying to adjust the aim. You can't get at the adjusters. You literally have to take the bumper cover off to get at the adjusters. I could get at one of them. I think I could get at the one that tilted it up and down, but I couldn't get to the one that would turn it, to aim it left, right, because it was way down underneath, and it's just too tight in there. You can't get to it. So you're going to have to pull the bumper cover off and probably loosen the light from the core support so that you can get behind it to adjust it. And so I figure with all that, and the things are melted anyway, and the outsides are getting cloudy, and screw it. I'm just going to buy new headlights, and I'll do all the aiming and everything before I put the bumper cover back on. I'm going to take it for a drive without the cover on it and see how the lights are aimed, come back, readjust them if they need adjustment, get them the way I like them, and then I'll come back and finish it by putting the cover back on. But I'm going to go test drive it first and make sure I like where they're pointed, and So I'll keep you posted on that. I'll probably do a video on pulling it apart and doing all that. So, but yeah, so that's what's coming on the Pontiac. And then after that, the only thing left is to charge the air conditioning. I'm not sure what I'm going to need to do on that one. If it needs a hose or maybe a new compressor. I don't know. I haven't tested it yet. So I'll put a vacuum pump on it, check it, and see where we're at. Yeah, well, I had to do the bumper cover on my the Charger when I put new headlights in the Charger. I did buy the factory looking ones. They look exactly like the ones that came out, and they were only like $98 for the pair, much cheaper than, because they sold so many of those cars that volume. They're selling so many of them. They can make them a lot cheaper. There ain't a lot of G8s on the road, so so everything on that car is a premium. But yeah, I had to do the same thing on the Charger. I had to pull the whole front bumper cover off, and to get to the headlights and the fog lights, because it was set. Yeah, that was headlights and fog lights for $98. So I put that all together, and then I put the cover back on, and those you can adjust while they're on the car. But I can't get to the Pontiac. It's just, there's no way to get down there. Unless Snap-on makes some special ass tool to do it. I can't see how any way in the world you're going to get a wrench all the way down underneath, because they're caddy corner. If this is your bulb, right? Looking at it from the back, where you would put your bulb in here, there's an adjuster down here and one over here up here. And this one does your up down, and this one down here does your left right. And I can't get to the down here. It just there's not enough clearance. I even took the cap off that covers the bulb, because that's the thing that seals you put your bulb in the little housing, and then you have to put the cover on, and that's what keeps the moisture out because there's an O-ring on the cover, and the cover's got a hole in it from being melted from the LED bulbs getting so hot that it just melted the cover. So anyway, um, but yeah, the charger lights went in pretty easy, and I had to pull the bumper cover on that one too. So I'm prepared. But yeah, just I couldn't believe how easy those valve covers were to change. That was amazing. Like I've done all kinds of Chevy valve covers and Ford valve covers, and you got to scrape you know, the old cork gasket or even the rubber fiber, whatever the hell it is. It gets all stuck to the cover, to the head, and you got to take a scraping tool and clean it all off. And what a pain in the ass. And this was just cake. It was all I did was take a paper towel and wipe the head off where the flat was. Just took a quick wipe on that. Clean the valve covers with the brake clean. Put it all back together. It was cake. Really, really nice job. So yeah, we only made $8. Look them up on eBay. Yeah, you could get the charger, everything for the charger's cheap. I mean, because they built so many of them. Hell, the car's cheap. You can buy these cars for $4,000 all day long, and they're beautiful. An RT with the 5.7 Hemi in it. They're just unbelievable how cheap you can buy these cars. I mean, I bought my one Daytona for $3,000. I bought the other Daytona for $6,000. And I bought the Super B for $4,000. Oh no! All three of them run and drive, and the air's cold. So, the Super B has a tranny leak, but it runs and drives. But I have to fix the tranny leak, front pump seal, I think. But yeah, all three of them were, there's a little bit of paint work on. Well, the one Daytona has a little tiny bit of touch up on the paint. No big deal. The Super B is. The sides look great. When you look at the pictures from the side, it looks beautiful. But the top surfaces on the hood, the roof, and the trunk lid, and the sail panels have got a little bit of surface rust. That's like I think it's still under the paint, but the paint is like faded off or burnt off to where the rust is just starting to. When you rub your hand over, it's smooth. It's not rough or anything, but it's just rust color, and so it needs a little paint work. But yeah, I mean, I would pay $4,000 for a Super B, with the 6.1 Hemi, and God, that car's fast. Wow, that thing is that's a powerful engine in that car. So, but yeah, nothing like the G8. I mean, I bought 5 cars for $13,500. 5 cars. I bought the Magnum, which the engine was blown in that, and in pieces all in the back of the car. But the body's perfect, new paint job, new wheels. The tires are all dry rotted. They're very old. The car was painted a long time ago, but still looks good. Car's straight, beautiful car. Just I need to put the engine back together. I bought a black RT that has the infamous lifter tick. Runs and drives, but it's got the tick. So I don't drive it. It's parked for right now. And then the 2 Daytonas had fresh motors in them, and the Super B has got the original motor in it that runs perfect. And so I got all 5 of these cars for $13,000. I paid $12,000 just for the Pontiac. All right, and for $13,500, I got 5 cars. So yeah, you can get them. I mean, you can get them cheap. Even the Daytonas. It's not hard to find a Daytona in the $6,000 to $9,000 range all day long in really good shape, all the colors. I'm looking for a green one, the Sublime green. I'm looking for, but all mine are yellow. The both Daytonas are yellow, and the Super B's yellow. But anyway, I'm looking for a yellow Challenger. That's the next thing I want. So, hey, if I had your money, I'd burn mine, Michael. Yeah, Yeah. No, I'm a bargain hunter. I'm a frugal. I'm cheap. But yeah, I just grabbed these cars because, like I said, I've had the toys for 20 years. When the car came out back in '06, I bought all the RC versions of it in all sizes and colors, and all these years I've had the toys and never had the real car. And then I finally got the opportunity to buy the real car, the real Daytona, and I ended up buying five. Two Daytonas, a Super B, which is even better, and then just a plain RT, still the 5.7, same motor, and the Magnum had the 5.7 also. So yeah, all of them came with the Hemi, and the only thing wrong with the Magnum motor was somebody inadvertently dropped a nut, bolt, screw, something into the intake, got sucked into a cylinder, and beat the hell out of the top of the piston and the underside of the head. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to do to fix it. I don't think I'm going to. I don't think I'm going to replace the piston or the head. I think I'm just going to take a grinding tool and grind off the sharp edges. Just kind of smooth it out, but just going to leave the dents in it. Fuck it. I'm not going to race the car. Just going to drive it. I think it'll run just fine. I know I'll probably get some hot spots. That's why I want to grind off the high points, to minimize it getting a hot spot. But if I'm just cruising down the road easy, I don't think it's going to be a problem. And that's all I would do with that car. I don't want to race it or anything. So that's what I think I'm going to do. And then if that doesn't work, then I'll do a full rebuild. But I don't think I want to. I don't know. I mean, I might change my mind, but at this point, I'll know better when I start putting. See, they left the motor in the car. The block is in the car, but everything's disassembled. The heads, the intake, all the plenums, headers, everything's in the back of the wagon on the Magnum. And when I go to put it back together, if I run into more issues, then I might change my mind what I'm going to do. But right now, I think I'm just going to clean it up. The guy did take grease and completely coat the walls and the pistons, and just got all grease in there to seal it so it wouldn't rust. So I'm sure there's nothing rusting in there. And of course, the hood was closed the whole time, so there's no water getting in anywhere under there. And because of the grease, there isn't even, humidity getting to the cylinder walls and the pistons should be fine. I suspect when I clean the grease out that it'll be fine. I'm not expecting any issues there. Yeah, that's not on the books right now. I got bigger fires to put out than put that back together. So I'm gonna get these other cars fixed first. Michael Bear, what's up? How you doing, man? So anyway, but yeah, that's but I love all the cars. I mean, they're I want to do. So the black one is actually a red car. It's a red Charger RT that they wrapped in black. And when I start my new automotive channel, I'm going to have my friend wrap that car in a NASCAR scheme, but either in Valvoline oil, AMSOIL, Mobil 1 oil. I'm going to put a scheme on it. And so I'm going to contact some oil companies and see if any of them want to sponsor my new channel. And I'm going to tell them I will have my car wrapped in your logo, and it will be in every video. In the background of every video will be my Dodge Charger in a Mobil 1 or Valvoline or whatever, whichever company wants to get on board with me. I'm going to have the car wrapped in that scheme just for background. And that's going to look pretty cool. So we'll see if I get any takers on that. So we'll see. Um, Eric's been working on the hangar. All right, man. That's cool. Yeah, I have a couple more car issues to sort out before I get back to work on my hangar because I got to move a bunch of shit. Oh, that was the other thing. When Deb came, when I was dating Linda, and when she died, I took some stuff out of their house that she, when her family came to clean out the house to sell it. They asked me if I wanted to take any of this stuff. There were some storage cabinets out in the garage, and a few other odds and ends. And they asked me if I wanted them, and I said, "Sure, I'll take them. I know you want to get rid of them, so I'll take them off your hands, get them on." And I had them in the storage unit, so I had to go get those with my trailer, and so there. Now I've got the got the trailer backed into the garage because I wasn't sure if it was going to rain or not, and they're nice looking cabinets, but they're particle board, with facade oak, finish on them, and you can't get them wet because they'll just fall apart. So I backed the trailer into the garage and then closed the garage door down on the tongue. So the garage door is open about a foot and a half maybe, and but the trailer's in the garage, so everything's in. And I had to take the couch she had. She couldn't. They rented too small of a truck, so they couldn't take everything. So she gave me her couch because it wasn't going to fit in the truck. So now I have another couch of hers. I have one right here that's leather, gray leather, and this one's gray fabric. They're both power recliners. Buttons to power recline them, and I believe the other one, the one she gave me today, has a vibrators in them, massagers. I believe in that one, if I remember right. So these couches are going in the new man cave. When I get that upstairs finished, that's where both these couches are going to be up there. So that's fine. I just right at the moment I don't have room for it. I've got so much crap in here, and I'm trying to build this thing and I keep putting more shit in here to move around. So it's getting rough. But I just waste so much time moving stuff. But it is what it is. I'll get through it. So. Well, yeah, Eric, I understood that. I mean, I wasn't expecting to be out in your hangar all night. Have you got the lights working out there already or not? You got lights out in the hangar? I'm just reading some of the posts you guys, especially Michael Bears talking about his mini bikes. Any good weather to ride the mini bikes, Mike? I mean, come on. You said not weather dependent. Well, yeah, you can fix them, but you can't ride them until the weather's good. So you're right back in the same boat with the you know, with the airplanes, you need an inside hobby like 3D printing or something. You know? What you're doing is still weather dependent. Uh, so what I did, Eric, and it's been that way for almost 4 years now. I ran 200-foot extension cords from two different sources off my main trailer into the garage, and I ran them through the garage door, the overhead door. So I got them in. So I've got power in the garage, and I have one circuit over here powering the hobby room, and then I have another circuit that powers all the lights and everything electrical, like the lift, you know, the 4-post lift, all the battery chargers for my power tools, and all that stuff is on the other circuit. So I've got two circuits running that can. So far, they're handling the load fine. I haven't popped a breaker in the main house yet once. So it handles the load just fine. I'm currently running. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have eight LED lights that I can turn all on. I don't have them all on right now. Like upstairs, I turned the one off. Well, actually, I turned them both off upstairs in the upper area, but there's still two on over the main garage area. So those two are on. I don't turn those off because if I come in here and those are off, I can't. It's pitch black in here. No windows, no skylights, no windows. That was deliberate. So yeah. So I you know, if I turn those two lights off, I can't see a thing. So those two stay on, and then this one in here stays on, and the rest of them are off unless I'm working upstairs or working in here doing, you know, if I need more light, I can turn these other two on, but they're not on right now. And so, yeah, but I've got, you know, the 3D printers. I got 3D printers. I've got a dryer. I've got a dehumidifier. I've got an air conditioner. I've got a fan running. So I got a lot of stuff in here. The fireplace, it's all plugged in. I don't run it all at the same time, but you know, it's a multitude of things in here that I have plugged in to power up as needed. So, and I'm just running off two extension cords from the house. So, and that's been working for 4 years, you know, but I really want to. The big problem is the main harness coming over here. It's going to be $500 just for the 50 feet of cable I need to run a 150 amp service from the air conditioning unit to the building. You know, just the wire is going to be $500, and then the boxes and the conduit. You know, I'm probably going to have $1,000 to actually bring service to the building. And that's not wiring the building. That's just getting the power, permanent power to the building. And I don't have an extra $1,000 right now. We're going to have to wait. You know, I gotta prioritize, and right now I don't have extra money for that. So we're going to wait on that. I'm going to build some more walls and just work on. And like I said, I told you before, but I had a pattern. Every single 2x4 on all of the inside walls here, 16-inch on center studs. Every stud has 3 holes drilled in it in the exact same spot. So I can run the wire through all the walls to wire the place. So I can run my wires and then put in my outlets. And so I can do all that. I have a lot of outlets. I won't have to go buy any right away. I got tons to use. I got a bunch of leftover ones. I did a lot of rewiring in the trailer when I bought it. I bought a lot of new outlets, you know, to put them to the new modern square pretty ones than the old, you know, old ones, the bone color old ones. So I have all those old ones, and that's what I'm going to put out here, you know. And So I have a bunch of those, and then my one attorney friend's remodeling his house, and he's doing the same thing. So he just brought me a whole box full of boxes and outlets that he tore out of his house. So I have all kinds of boxes and outlets. I don't even have to go buy any, and I can um, I can keep wiring, so I can start getting things set up, and all the this is all ready for lights too. The drywall's not up, but I have to run the power wire before I put the drywall up, and I'm ready for that. So I can snake my wire in here to put lights in, and I think trying to decide how many lights I'm going to need. So 28 feet. Man, I don't know. I'm thinking I'm going to need. I think I'm going to need at least 12 of these, my flush mount lights. I had one sitting here. But yeah. So I think I'm going to need. Is that it there on the bottom? Yeah. So these recessed LED lights. I think I bought 15 or 18 of these, I think. I forget. And I'm going to need 12 of these in here, I think. Because it's 10 by I'm sorry, it's 20 by 28. This room. So I think I'm going to need 12 of these on the ceiling to light this the way I want it lit. I think. So that'll leave me an extra one or two. I'm debating on whether to put a couple of those because the upstairs living area is going to have 2 ceiling fans with light kits on them. So I have those lights in the ceiling, and then I'm thinking I might put maybe a couple of these in the ceiling for extra lighting, and then of course I'm going to have lamps on tables or a floor lamp, like a normal living room. So I should have plenty of light up there. And I don't have to buy any lamps. I got a shitload of lamps. I just like the old stuff. I'm sorry, but people throw away old style lamps that I think are beautiful. So I grab them. I can't tell you how many lamps I've taken out of the trash that were in perfect shape. They work. They're just old and, I think they look cool as hell. So I grab them. So I've got a whole bunch of lamps. So I'll put some lamps in there, and hell, I've got enough lamps to change them every month. So, but yeah. So anyway, but I can do a lot of wiring. I can build a bunch of walls or use up the rest. I've got 50 2x4s, 8-footers. So to build walls for upstairs. So I have enough wood to build all the outside walls, and I think I have enough to even finish the bathroom. And then so I can build all those walls and get them up, and I have most of the wood I need for the outside of those, because the outside facing the garage is going to be plywood, the same plywood I use for the flooring. It's OVS board. I'm going to use that for the outside wall of the walls. So I can do that, and then I can do all the wiring on the inside, after I stand them up and install them. So I have seven boards, 7 4x8 sheets. I think 7. That'll do the 16-foot wall across the back and the 12-foot wall on this side. And then I'll need maybe one more sheet, and then the French doors on this side. I have the French doors. Yeah. So, and that's all I needed. I already did the downstairs wall here, and there's 3 sheets of plywood, the OSB board down here. So that wall's finished. That's the wall that goes under the upstairs where the cars will be parked. So that's the wall and then the staircase. So that's finished. These walls are the outside of the building. This wall and this wall. So I don't need to put outside wood on those because you can't see them. The building, they're up against the steel building. The wall behind me is a full wall that I built that just separates this 20 feet from that 20 feet where the cars are going to be. And this wall is finished on this side because I did all the mudding and sanding and painting for my backdrop. And all the wiring and everything I'll do from the other side. And then when I finish the other side, I'll probably just use the OSB board again. I might drywall it since it's a ground level. I don't know. We'll make that decision later. Maybe I'll just put some paneling up. I'm not sure how I'm going to finish that yet. We'll see. But I can do all my electrical for this side of the wall from the other side. That's why I went ahead and did this way. So I had this pretty backdrop, and I can finish it from the other side. Yeah, the disco ball over the bed. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course I'm going to have that. I'm going to 3D print it. You can 3D print a disco ball, by the way. They do make that. And if I did it in the material I just did that Millennium Falcon in, it's shiny enough to reflect light like a mirror, so it would definitely work. That shit's pretty glossy. I mean, that's shiny as hell, that stuff. So, yeah. And then my attorney friend brought me this beautiful chandelier that he took out of his house. So I think I'm going to put that in a staircase that goes upstairs. I was going to put one of these lights in the staircase. But now I think I'm going to hang that chandelier in the staircase. Because I'll have headroom to do it. And because the end of the staircase is going to be a wall for the upstairs, above me, where the bedrooms will be, or my train room, or whatever I'm going to do upstairs. But there's a whole nother 20 by 28 feet on top of this 20 by 28 feet. That's, all floored. I haven't put any walls up, but it's all floored. And that's the last thing I'm going to do. That's the very end. I'm going to finish this and finish that first, and then I'll decide what the hell I'm going to do up there. I don't know what I'm going to do up there. Right now, it's just storage, and that's fine. I'm not sure. I'm going to do something with it for sure, but that's not a big. That's not a priority right now. I don't care what I do up there. I just want to get that finished and this finished, so that I have air conditioning here, air conditioning there. Big screen TV and my 2 couches and some tables, and probably a pool table's going to go up there, and kitchen cabinets, which my attorney brought me kitchen cabinets, so I might use those. They're pretty decent shape. I haven't decided yet, but I might use them. And I rescued a pantry door out of the trash one night. It was a frame and door. It's a louvered door, which would be either I'm going to do either a pantry door with that, or a linen closet door. I haven't decided yet, but because it's a narrow door, so it's not a walk-through door. It's too narrow. I think it's only 24 inches, maybe 28. It's not 36 for sure. So it's not a legal door, which I'm trying to, even though none of this, I'm building everything to code, guys. I mean, I definitely know what code is, and I'm building everything to code, even though I'm not having it inspected, because it's not livable. It's not livable. This is a garage. It's not a dwelling. So, I don't have to have it inspected. I don't have to have it, but if they come and give me a hard time or whatever, or when I go to sell it one day, maybe, I doubt, I'll probably die in this place, honestly. I don't think I'm going to sell it. If the inspectors come in and check everything, it's all going to be the code. So there really isn't going to be anything to shit on me about other than the fact that I didn't pull a permit. But I don't need a permit. It's not, it's not a dwelling. So I don't need a permit to do anything in here. This is just a garage. So if I hook up, now I can put plumbing in here. I just can't put septic. That's the difference. I can have, water feed in and gray water out. I can't have black water out. So no toilet. I can have a shower, sinks. That's all fine. It's gray water. Can't have a toilet. If I hook it to a toilet to a septic system, now it's a dwelling. Well, now I have to have everything, and the code. I can't put another dwelling on this property. The county won't allow it. Even though it's 3 acres, I haven't figured out why they won't. I don't even think they'll let me split the land anymore. Yeah, toilets are overrated anyway. You're right. Well, it's oddly enough, what was in storage over at Deb's was a potty chair. One of those potty chair things. For disabled people. That can't get in up and down off a toilet. So literally, what I can do is put that as an emergency in the shower because I'm going to have a shower in here to use the toilet, and then we can flush the pee down the drain and let it run out into my little gutter system outside, and we just toss the poop. Just take it over here and throw it over the fence. So empty little bucket that's in the chair, and so anyway. Oh, is that right? And the shower water is the same. See that? So wait a minute. Do you guys have campers over there, right? They can't be making campers. They have a black water tank and a gray water tank. You only have to take the black water tank to a place to have it flushed. You don't have to do that with the gray water. Do they make you do both the gray and black in the UK? Yeah, exactly, Michael. You're exactly my thoughts. You're exactly right. You just drop the boys off at the pool and then take a shower and let it all rinse down the drain and out it goes into my little sprinkler system that's going to be on the side of the outside of the building. That's exactly how I'm going to do that. Only rainwater is okay, really. That's not the way it is here. Yeah, yeah. Shower water and toilet water are totally different here. So yeah, that's Robert. That's not. I'm sure people do that. Just crack the black water tank valve and drive home and just let it slowly drain all over the road. And you should drive it down the road. Should do some checking on that for me, Michael. I contact either I guess it would be a campground for RVs that has hookups. They'll list that they have hookups, and ask them, do they, what's the legality on a camper for hookups? Do they have to hook up the gray water too, or just the black water tank? And see what they say. I'd be interested to see if the laws are different for a home and a camper, because that'd be interesting. I'd really like to know that. Oh no. My God. Oh, that had to be a mess. I did it. Were you able to wash it all off, or did it stain the canvas cover? God, that's a mess. Oh my God. You had a camper? So so did you ever go to a park and hook up? I mean, how do they hook it up? Do you have to hook the gray water tank, up also, or just the black water tank? I don't know if you ever went to a campground. I was going to go to a campground to empty mine every once in a while, just spend a night there for the hookup, so I could clean out the black water tank. But I found out that you can at the Flying J gas station they have a hookup there. I think it's $20, and you can purge your black water tank there. You just hook up to it and pay the $20 and dump your tank. So that's way cheaper than spending the night in a campground. So took you 4 days to clean that mess up. Oh my God. So did you guys laugh when you got home and saw the mess, or was Dad pissed, or what was what was the reaction when you got out of the car and saw that? That must have been a sight. Oh my God. No, no, it's the fence behind me is the power lines. No, that's not. I mean, it belongs to somebody, but it's just the right of way for the power lines. So there's nobody lives over there. The closest neighbor I have behind me is Christ 1,000 yards. You know, because it's 1,000 yard wide field where the power lines run through, and then there's homes, trailer homes over there. So yeah, there's nobody. Nobody's going to care that I throw all my cat poop over the fence. Nobody knows. Nobody cares. That's not a problem. I'm not throwing it into my neighbor's yard. Just over the fence that's where the power lines are. So same shit, different pile. That's funny. Ew. Sounds disgusting, Michael. Yuck. Why would you do that? Ew. We were putting quarters on the railroad tracks. We weren't going to the sewage plant. We spent our time collecting insulators and putting money on the rails. That was our pastime. Wow. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, it's definitely not that way here. You know, your dishwasher, your washing machine, that's gray water. That's not classified as sewage. It's just water. You know. water you wash some clothes and rinse the sweat out of them. That's not toilet water. So you're putting the sewer tomatoes on the railroad tracks and then run like hell. So what other news have I got for you? I did some 3D printing. Uh, Learned a new trick with my 3D printer. Um, didn't realize what that was doing. Had to find out the hard way. So for years, when I changed color filament, I would uh, unlock the extruder, which is there's two wheels that are half round like gears that the filament just fits into. So the filament's a round piece of spaghetti, and it fits between these two gears that have a concave to them, and it grabs the filament and pulls it down. Okay, everything above the gear is not heated. Everything below the gear is heated. So once it goes through the gears, it goes into the heat chamber, and that's what heats it up and turns it into a liquid. Not quite a liquid, but it softens it up enough to extrude it through the nozzle and make layers to print your prints. So what you would do is heat it up, unlock it, and pull it back through. Well, what was happening that I didn't realize was that hot piece that you're pulling back up through the gears is leaving little bits of filament in the pipe as it cools while you're pulling it out. So you get a little nugget of, material here and there. Microscopic little, but they keep building up. And they build up to the point where it's jammed. You can't push because it's not heated up above. So if you pull heated filament back through and it leaves some behind, you can't push filament back down through it. And not only that, you can't because it won't heat. You can't heat that part. So that was fun. I had to take the whole head unit apart, and I had to run a drill down into the top part and wallow out the remnants of the filament that was left in there, so I could get new filament through it. And so I got that, so it started printing again, and then I decided I was going to print some abrasive filament to clean the tube out, because the walls of the tube it's probably stainless steel, could be brass, but I think most of it, that part is stainless. And if you're not running stainless, if like your nozzle end, the heated end is brass, some of the filaments that are what they call um, abrasive. That's not the word they use. They use a different word. But they'll wear the brass nozzle out while as the filament goes through it. It's abrasive, so it literally scratches, and it actually widens the hole over so many prints. Your 4.4 extruder nozzle is now a 0.5 or a 0.6. It's getting bigger, and so you're not supposed to run abrasive material through those. You have to have a hardened nozzle to run abrasive material through it. So these printers have hard nozzles in them, so I can run abrasive material. And one of the materials that's abrasive is the glow-in-the-dark stuff. So I printed it didn't finish. It failed. Well, it didn't fail, but it broke. So the bottom half of this is the glow-in-the-dark. Okay. And then the top half is this is both ABS plastic. And ABS is abrasive too. And you have to run it a lot hotter. It takes a lot more heat to run ABS. And I had a full roll of glow-in-the-dark ABS I'd never used. It's like 10 or 12 years old. And it's still in the package, never opened. So I printed this guy. And then I printed this guy, a bigger version, but this is the fail. It didn't finish his nose or the top of the wings. It just failed. But this is all glow in the dark. And then I printed 2 of these trash cans that are glow in the dark. And I started this isn't the first one. This is the second one. I started with one of the trash cans. And I was getting, it's a trash can, so I wasn't too worried about, I knew it was going to happen. So as the filament's going through, it's picking up those little bits of material that are stuck in the, because it's like running sandpaper through it, basically. So it's grabbing those little bits of filament from all the other prints and dragging it down into the heater, and then it heats up and melts in with that, and then you get a spot. You get an imperfection in the print of whatever color it grabbed. I'm sure there's 16 different colors in there. And so I'm getting, on the first print, I'm getting all these little dots, these brown or blue little dots where it's dragging that filament out of the tube to clean the tube out. And like I said, it's a trash can, so I didn't care. That's fine. That was deliberate. So I did the first trash can, and then I did this trash can. I have one little spot on the bottom. It was the one left, and I don't know if you can see that or not. It's right there. There's a little brown spot right at the end of my finger here. I don't know if that's going to show up. Yeah, you can see it there. Yep. Yeah, see that little brown spot? That was the last bit of filament it drug out of the nozzle. And after that, the whole sides are clean. There's no brown spots. There's a couple of defects that I haven't figured out why that happened, but no more. I had a flying grasshopper in here. No more brown spots. And then these came out clean. There's no defects in these. I did these after the two trash cans, and these are clean. There's no bits of filament. So I know the tube's clean now. So now the way I do my filament is I release the tube, the Bowden tube that feeds the extruder, and I pull it up a little bit, and I cut it off right there at the top of the extruder. And then there's a way to clean the nozzle by extruding, to bring in the new filament. So I hit extrude and let it take that little bit of filament that's left and just take it down into the hot end, melt it, and waste a little bit of, and it comes out real stringy, like this. Okay, so this is what comes out. And if you look closely, you'll see that this is white and then it turns green. As I pull it through here, it starts turning green. I don't know if you could, yeah, you should be able to see that. And because that's when it changed color from the, on this one, from the glow in the dark to the green. And here's a failed print and get all the spaghetti. When something fails, you end up with a pile of this. Yeah. So that works fine now. No more. I'm not dragging hot filament back through the top anymore. I'm just gonna keep feeding, and then I just feed the new color in and put it in, and it just keeps. It's always going one direction now. I never back it out of the printer anymore. I just keep making it go down so that I don't get crap back in the cool part of it. So I'll probably never have another jam like that. It's the first time I've ever had a jam, and that should solve it. I probably never have one again. Well, I should say not that kind of jam. I mean, sometimes you get a problem in the gears, that you have to clean out. But that I don't have to take the whole head apart to do that. I only have to take the actual extruder motor off the back to clean that out. To clean out the tube where it was clogged, I had to take the whole thing apart, and that was a pain in the butt. I should never have to do that again. Well, it's funny you say that, Michael. They are making machine. Creality came out with one. They're making machines to do that. You can take your waste and it's a process. You got to grind it up into little chunks, little pieces. Um, and I got a whole drawer full of waste over here to work on. Um, So you grind it up into little pieces, and then it goes into a hopper, and then it feeds it down into the heater, and it turns it into, soft molded, material, and then it runs it out at the filament size, not the print size, but at the filament size, which is bigger, and it runs through a set of gear pulleys, and so it's cooling as it's running through there, and they've got it down to a science where it keeps the consistency of the size, and then it's spooling up on a spool at the end. And yeah, you just keep feeding. Now you're going to have probably, unless you have a lot of one color, you're going to have a multicolor spool of filament, which can be cool. You can make something multicolored that looks pretty cool sometimes. And, or you can just use it for fill, for infill, where it doesn't show. And when you're printing something and it has to print all that material on the inside so like this, for instance, I can take all this waste. This is just waste. This is poop out of the multicolor machine. All right. Every time it changes color, it has to poop, all this filament. So I can take all this and grind it back up and make new filament out of it. So you can recycle. And where's my Millennium file? Oh, I think I put it in the drawer. Well, I could show you. So inside his head, right here, you see that there's almost a square in the middle, and then there's some bits of filament around it. That's infill. So you can you can't see that when it's finished. So you could set it up if it's a dual nozzle machine, like these new tool changers, so that it uses that nozzle to put the infill in there. So you can use this waste for all your infill that's inside the model that you're never going to see, which would be perfect for that. So you'd be able to recycle your used filament and put it inside a good print, as the inner structure, the support, and or you could use it for support, external support too, and then the stuff that's inside you'll never see, and the stuff that's outside support, you just break all that off and reuse it again. So I don't know what that's costing yet, and I don't know how proficient they've got it yet, but it's coming. I'm sure companies are going to work on that. So the only thing now though is with all these tool changers coming out, there ain't going to be a lot of waste. So I don't know how big a deal the recycler is going to be anymore. When we were doing all this pooping, it was a big deal. But all these new machines coming out don't poop anymore. So there's going to be such a minimum amount of waste now. You still have failed prints, though. So, I mean, technically, since this didn't finish, I could throw this whole thing in the hopper and grind this all back up in the filament. And because it didn't finish, it's a failed print. There's no head, and the top of the wings aren't there. So what am I going to do with this? You can't really display it. It's not a finished. So this would be a perfect candidate of a failed print. You throw this in the hopper, grind it up, and make new filament out of this and reuse it. So you're still going to have that. These new printers don't do that very often, but every now and then you have a fail. Usually it comes off the bed. That's how my Millennium Falcon failed. Twice. It broke loose from the bed while it was printing. And that just destroys the model. You got to start over. So the last time I printed it, I finally printed one with the landing gear. Eric, are you still here? You wanted to see the one with the landing gear. I finally have one. After it failed twice, I used my glue stick right here, this glue stick here. This came with my Creality printer. And so I re-glued that area, and I turned the heat up a little hotter, and that did the trick. It finished printing. So now I've got the big Millennium Falcon, the 300 size one with landing gear, and this is that new filament I did. That's really shiny, and this reflects. This is what I could do a disco ball out of, because look at the way it reflects when I mean, that's pretty damn shiny. So yeah, I think that would work for a disco ball. And then there's the landing gear. In that position, you can see it a little better. And what that does is that keeps from breaking the bottom guns. Because without that, if I set it down this way, right side up, it breaks the barrels off the guns. So because I've got a radar dish on top here, I set it upside down, which protects the top guns because it's sitting upside down. And but now I've got one with the landing gear, and I like it. Looks good with the landing gear. That didn't take away from this at all. I thought it was going to look crappy with the landing gear on it, but it really doesn't. I don't think it takes away from it at all. So yeah, so this is my latest one, and it really, this is a great model. The guy that did this one did it right. This is a really good print. The quality of the file is really good. This guy put a lot of work into it. He did a little what do you call it? Creator. He took some liberties. So to get this to come out right, he changed. There might not have been this much taper, for instance, like where the gun thing is here. So he probably increased the rake, so you wouldn't have to put supports here, and it'll print just fine. So some of this stuff might be at a little more angle than it's supposed to be at, but the overall, I don't think you would notice it. It looks like a perfect Millennium Falcon. But he took a little liberty to add different effects so that when it printed it, it wouldn't need support. So you don't have to put any support on this when you print it. It prints standing up just like this, and no support. And this little flat spot on the back is where the engine is anyway, if you're familiar with it. Not quite, not quite that exact. It's bigger than that, the engine, but it looks similar to that, and I can live with that. That came out nice. So yeah, so I'm really happy with this. So that's my first successful landing gear print. So I had two fails on the landing gear one, and finally I got a full print. So pretty cool. Pretty happy with that. That came out good. I'll put that. Uh, so Robert, you said I can save that. Yeah, yeah, Robert. Yeah. So, but you have to go into the file and figure out what layer height it's at, right? And then reset ground zero to that layer height, and then print. And yeah, if it was important enough, I would do that. Um, I mean, if it was something that was really major, and yeah, I didn't want to start over, I would do that. But this thing, I printed this just to waste the filament, to clean out my nozzle and use up this 10, 12-year old ABS filament. And I've never had a successful print in ABS, so I wanted to see what it looked like. And it prints really well. I mean, the layer lines and everything are great. You don't see them. There's really no layer lines, and um, I'm a little surprised because this was a sealed roll of filament, but I still got some stringing. Not bad, but I didn't think I'd get any, but I got a little bit. Um, uh, yeah, yeah. You don't have to be exact, and it'll be close enough. Yeah, yeah. I would do that if it came down to that. I would, So the other one, the legs broke off. This ABS is brittle because this thing fell over on the floor. I mean, it was literally sitting on this box. So that's how far off the floor it was. Standing on here like that, and it fell off, and both the legs broke off. It was the carpet yet. I mean, it fell onto carpet and these broke off. I'm like, are you kidding me? So yeah, I'm not impressed with ABS at all. I don't think I'll be buying any more ABS. I just wasn't impressed with that at all. There's definitely better materials to print with that have way more structural strength than that. That's terrible. But you live and learn. Like I said, well, of course, that's a really old filament. That might have been part of the problem. Like I said, I bought those rolls at least 10 years ago to print on my Ender 3. And I didn't know you couldn't use that abrasive material in a Ender 3 because it doesn't have a hard nozzle. It seemed to print just fine when I did get one to print. I have um, a little articulating dragon over there that I think is printed out of that material, and it printed fine. That's one of the rare things that did print on that printer. Um, all right, Michael, time for bed, is it? All right, man. Hey, if you're a NASCAR fan, I don't know if you guys are. Just a heads up. Hey, the racing at the Naval Station road course looks pretty good. I think that's a fun watch. I'm gonna be watching that tomorrow. I was pretty impressed with that. I watched the truck race and I watched practice. The NASCAR's practicing, and of course SVG's on the pole. That's a given. But yeah, looks like it's going to be a good race. I'm kind of first time they've ever been there, so I'm kind of uh, not finished your beer yet. Well, we can't let that go to waste, so stick around. All right, we're good. Um, yeah, and it's Amazon. So that they're telecasting it on Amazon. So Dale Jr. will be in the booth, and they're actually they're there's a the Carl Vinson aircraft carriers in port there, and they're gonna report the race from inside the bridge of the Carl Vinson. That's where the commentators are going to be on the bridge, and that's where they're going to call the race from the bridge of the Carl Vinson. That's interesting. They've got they got a whole bleacher stand in the back on the tail of the Carl Vincents for spectators to, if I don't know how you get on the you must have credentials or something to get on the boat. But if you're a crew or family of the crew or whatever, you get on the boat and you can go sit in the bleachers down the tail of the flight deck. That's pretty cool. So should be interesting. I'm not a huge NASCAR fan anymore. I'll be honest with you. I barely watch it, but I'm kind of interested in this one. It's a whole new game, racing on an airstrip, and it should be from what I watched on practice and stuff. It looks like it's going to be an interesting course. So I'm probably going to watch that tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Normally I wouldn't bother. I'd be at a car show or someplace. I just don't watch NASCAR anymore. They've really ruined the sport. They're trying to make a comeback, but they ain't there yet. We'll see. Let's see what else. Anything else new and exciting? Really haven't bought anything. Um, nothing exciting. Just the headlights for the Pontiac. There was something else I bought, but I don't think it was anything exciting. It must have been like I don't know, paper towels or I don't know. I forget. Something else came in the mail. What the hell was it? I don't remember. I think it was. I think it was something 3D printing or car related, but I can't remember what it was. It wasn't paper towels. It was something else. Yeah, I can't figure out what it was. Well, I did order. I think I showed you guys that. I don't have it in here right now, but I ordered a jump box. That's a portable air compressor jump box all in one. It's 16,000 amp hours. 16,000 amp hour battery that uses it actually uses an EC5 plug for the jumper cables, and then you hook a hose to it on a port, and you pump up tires with it. It's pretty cool. Nice portable battery operated air pump and a jump starter. So That was pretty cool. That was a neat purchase. So you did go buy two Harleys, did you, Michael? Well, that's good. Yeah, you and your son will have a good time on those. Yeah, go for some bike rides. That's cool. Okay. Hey, it's good to see you, man. Say hi to your dad for me. I don't know that there's going to be a lot of cautions. I think there's going to be a lot of wrecks, but they generally don't throw a caution on a road course unless you're completely blocking the track and can't. If you crash and continue, they won't immediately throw the caution. Because they got to wait for everybody to come all the way around. It's a long lap. So if you can keep moving and get to the pit road or whatever, so I don't think I think there's going to be a lot of guys hitting the wall. That one turn, for instance, I don't forget what one it is, five or something, but yeah, there's a lot of carnage going on there. But they always seem to keep moving. So we might not see as many cautions, but we're going to see a lot of wall hitting. That's for sure. They're going to hit the wall a lot, but I don't know that we're going to see a lot of cautions. It'll be interesting to see. That's cool. All right, Yeah, send me those lotto numbers. I'm gonna go play those tonight. Hey, what's up? How you doing, man? You're never here when I wear your shirt. You have to go back and watch my videos. I try to wear your shirt most of the time. I got what's his name shirt on tonight? Um, Flying Tiger. Um, so my buddy Craig, that's I go we see each other every Tuesday at our car show, and he um, he bought himself a Challenger. I think it's a 20, it might be a 23. It's like a 21 or a 23. It was supposed to be the last one, and then they stopped making them and went to the electric bullshit, and then they went back and now they're making them again. Um, and it's an RT. It's sublime green. It's got the black stripe on it, and beautiful car. And he paid it off um, last week, so now he's in the hots to go buy another car, and he's looking at like a '70 Chevelle SS or maybe a '69 Camaro SS or something old like that. And I said, really? And he goes, yeah. He wanted me to go with him. He wanted to go down to this place in Dayton, in Bradenton today. There's an antique car place down there. He wanted to go down there today and look at what they had in stock. And I'm like, well, can't you look at them online? Yeah, but I want to go down and feel them out. I said, why don't you call them on the phone and feel them out? that's it's a long ass drive to go all the way down there if you ain't buying. I mean, that's crazy. You're gonna go down there and feel them out, and then go down there again to make the purchase. I mean, it's an hour and a half each way. 3 hours a trip and make two trips. That doesn't make any sense. Call them. Talk to them on the phone. But I was busy today with Deb, so I couldn't go anyway. We might go Monday. He still wants to do it, I think. So I'm not driving. I'm going to ride with him. I'm not driving all the way down there. I'm not wasting my gas to drive all the way down there just to feel him out. Forget that. I'll just ride with him. We'll go down there and so he can look at the cars and pick out something. But I think he should be looking elsewhere. Private owner. I wouldn't. everybody's got this thought in their head that when they buy from a dealer, they're going to get a better quality car. No, you're not. The dealer takes it in on trade. They don't do a damn thing to it but wash it maybe and detail it and put it on. So they don't know if it's reliable or if everything. Well, they check to make sure everything has worked, but they're not going to guarantee how long it's going to work. You're pretty much buying it as is. And so why pay the jacked up price to buy it from a dealer when you can buy it from the original owner, who's probably got the car at the dealership on consignment? So literally, you're buying it from the original owner that's going through a dealer as on consignment. So I don't know. I think you could buy it a lot cheaper, direct instead of going through a dealer. So, all right, Michael, you're here now. All right, I guess you finished your beer. Okay, I'll see you in a couple hours. You'll be back. Oh, the O'Reilly race was today. Yeah, I haven't watched that yet. I'll probably watch that when I get done out here. Was Cletus in that race? I didn't see him in the truck race, so I don't think he was in there. I did something I'm forgetting to tell you about. I can't. I'm trying to think, and I can't put my finger on it. Did something or something happen about something, and I was going to share that with you, and I can't think what it was. Hmm. Oh well. Debating on whether to print something or not. Do you guys know about this, or have you played it? It's called Mexican Train Dominoes. Any of you guys know what that is? Have you played it? It's a different version. I guess there's a whole bunch of different versions of dominoes. I had no idea. I grew up, there was just dominoes, but now they have all these different versions of it that have different rules and different unique things about them. And I think the highest domino back in the day was 6, right? And it only went up to 6. Well, blank to 6. The one we play at church goes from 0 to 15. So it's a lot of dominoes. A lot of you know. And the Mexican train version, you start with 6 and work your way down or whatever back in the day. So now we start with 15, and so you each have your own train, right? And nobody can play on it unless you have to put your train up. I'll get to that. And but if you have more than one 15, you can start what they call a Mexican train. So you could start another train, and you put a train on it to tell everybody you can play on this one. It's for everybody. So you have your own that only you can play on unless your train's up, and then you've got a side train that anybody can play on, and you can do as many side trains as you want. Up to 15 because that's all that. There's only 15 dominoes with the number 15 on it, so you can have as many as 15 starts, but we never get that high. And then if you can't play, like you don't have a domino to play on your own or on any of the Mexican trains, if you can't play, you'd have to draw, one from the bone pile. And if you can't play that one, then you have to put your train up. And when you put your train up, now anybody can play on your train along with all the Mexican trains. And until you play on yours again, you can't take your train down. Now you can, if your next play, you can play there on one of the other Mexican trains, that's fine. But you can't take your train down until you actually play on your train. So the idea is most of the time, if you've got a pretty good lineup to finish your own train, you want to keep that under your control. So you want to get rid of the train as quick as you can. Sometimes now, many times I don't have any more moves on my own train, so I'll just leave my train up. I'm just gonna leave my train up. So I don't have any plays. So if you want to play here, go ahead. And that just opens the opportunity for me to play one of my pieces that I don't have a play for on my own, to play it somewhere else, or turn this into a Mexican train and play it there too. So it's a strategy. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. And I can, the little trains are about, I don't know, a half inch, 3/4 of an inch, maybe. And there's a file out there. I could print 100 of them on the plate. I could put 100 little trains and print them. So we have more trains to use during the game. So that would be cute. I haven't done that yet, but I might do that. Let's see what else. All right, Michael. Have a good night. Other than cleaning, I've been cleaning the house, cleaning the garage. Just brought all this stuff home from the storage unit. I gotta get that off the trailer tonight. Find some place to put it. I can't stay on the trailer outside, so I got to put it in here somewhere. I don't know where I'm going to put this stuff. It's not much. The couch is going to take up the most room. I don't know where the hell I'm going to put that damn thing. Yeah, I guess I really need to get busy upstairs. Get those walls built, so that I can pack more stuff upstairs. I don't know. We'll see. If I could just get my disability, Social Security coming in, I could, I'd have money to go buy what I need to just keep working. But I don't have that right now. So kind of laying low, just kind of wait to see. Gotta stop spending money. I just gotta really cut back. We're gonna. Yeah, I gotta. I might have another year. Well, yeah, another year before I get a check. Next year, this time next year, I'll be getting my Social Security. Well, I won't get it till October, but I'll have already been approved for my regular Social Security if I don't get the disability. Um, he probably would have wrecked out in the first couple laps. So yeah, he wouldn't. He, you're right. He probably wouldn't have finished the race. Yeah. I think he's quite the driver he thinks he is. He's definitely not showing the talent like Jeff Gordon or Jimmy Johnson showed when they came into the sport. They hit the ground running and winning, and Chet's not showing that at all. Or I should say Cletus. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think I don't know if he's going to make it there. Did you see that he's selling his drag car, the Eagle, the Camaro he had, special built drag car? He's selling it. I think he really wants to go NASCAR, and I just don't. I don't know. I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's ever going to be a real force in NASCAR. I could be wrong, but he's just not showing that much talent. I don't think so far. He could get better. I mean, he certainly could get better, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm just surprised that he would give up the drag racing. I was more expecting him to go NHRA, full bore drag racing than go to NASCAR. So I don't know. I mean, if he makes it, he'll make a lot more money as a NASCAR driver than an NHRA driver. But that's if he makes it. So I haven't been in any of the hobby sites. Anybody come out with anything new? Did Horizon have a new release? FMS? Anybody? Anybody got a new release out? I didn't see a. I didn't see any massive Father's Day deals. There were some deals, but nothing, nothing super great. I didn't see anything. I didn't buy anything. Did Eric check out EQ, or is he still here? Eric, he wanted to dynam that new the E2, the Hawkeye radar dish plane, that's got the big rotary disc on top. Dynam came out with it. It's a good looking model. I wouldn't mind owning that. A little pricey though, especially for Dynam. Dynam usually doesn't price their planes this high. This thing was $465, and that's a chunk of change for that airplane from Dynam. Yeah, I'm not sure but I like the plane. I'd really like to have the plane. Um, I'm not going to buy it right now. That's for certain. But so Eric ordered one through me because he doesn't have any kind of credit card that he can use to purchase stuff like that. So he always sends me a check and I order it for him. So I ordered him his E2 and it was on back order. And he neglected to tell me that he wanted the bind and fly version because I thought he only had Spectrum stuff. So I know their shit I think comes with Dentum radios. So if you buy a bind and fly from Dynam, it's going to come with the Denton radio or whatever that's called. And I didn't think he had that, so I assumed since he didn't tell me that he only wanted the plug and play version, not the bind and fly. Well, no, he told me he wanted the bind and fly. Okay, so I contacted them and I canceled my order because they hadn't shipped it yet because it's on back order. And I said cancel that order. I'm going to reorder it with the bind and fly. And I said, when are those doing? And he said, oh, we're supposed to get them in like next week. And okay, whatever. So never got an email from her. I had a pretty good conversation with her. And I never got an email from her telling me that it was in. But I think I waited 2 weeks and then I placed the order again, this time for the bind and fly. And didn't get any kind of shipping confirmation. And I put Eric's name all over it. It's his phone number, whatever. And it would have had my email address, but because I signed in to order it under my account, but I was having it drop shipped to him, and didn't hear anything, and so Eric contacted me, I think maybe Thursday, and said, "Hey, if you heard anything about the order, I haven't got it yet." And I'm like, "No, I hadn't heard anything." So so he's been on the phone with them, I guess, or chatting in emails. They say they don't have the order. They don't. I gave them the order number, and they said they still don't have the order. They don't. They don't have it. So I sent them the email, the confirmation I got from them that the order was confirmed. So he sent it to them, and oh well, we found it. Yeah, you're right. We have it, and I guess they finally shipped it this past Tuesday. So he should probably see it next week sometime. He said probably Tuesday. I think it's coming from China, so I probably probably more like 10 days, I guess. So he'll probably see it by Thursday or Friday. But yeah, wait till you see it. It's a really cool model. It looks really good. If I was going to spend that much on that plane, I think I'd rather spend the $998 for the new F-35C that Motion's putting out. Even though I'm not a big Motion fan, I'm pretty impressed with that airplane. I really think for what you're getting, it's priced right. Because if you go on Banana Hobbies and buy anything near that big, if you read the fine print, it doesn't come with anything. It might come with servos, but it doesn't come with the fan or the turbine. It doesn't come with ESC. It doesn't come with the fan. If it's just So by the time you add all that crap, it's way more expensive than the Motion plane coming out of the box, ready to go. So I really think they did a good job. The plane looks good. The price was right on par for what it is. This is the first time they've put on an airplane that I thought was priced, good, fair, not overpriced. So So I'm a little leery about the E2, because I know Dynam quality. I'm sure it'll fly great. All the Dynam planes fly great, but the quality is, it's got some issues. Yeah, and it's a tough pill to swallow, getting the quality that Dynam's had in the past. Although the PT-17 was awesome. That was a really nice airplane right out of the box. So if everything they're selling now forward is that good, all right, then maybe. Um, but yeah, trying to think the next most expensive plane I bought from Dynam. I got a bunch of Dynam planes here. I don't know. Maybe the 1000. The Dusty Crop Hopper. I think it's the Pawnee Brave or a Cessna. What is it? A 188. Um, I don't know. All the planes I bought from Dynam, I think, have all been under $200 or right at $200. Yeah, which I think is a great price for what you get. But now we're talking 465, I think it was. Yikes! That's a tough pill to swallow from Dynam. Not saying I won't do it one day. Not going to do it right now, but I'm just wondering. Maybe one day. I'm starting to nod off. I think I'm going to call it, guys. I didn't think I was this tired, but it's hit me pretty hard right now. Yeah, are you thinking about buying it, Matt? You going to buy an E2? Do you have a hobby shop over there that sells Dynam products on the shelf that you could order it from, or do you have to order it direct like I did for Eric? So Dynam Direct, yeah. Yeah, you were gonna order it, but you're gonna wait. That's the same way I felt when it came out. I was like, "Oh, this is cool," That's a great airplane. And then I saw the price, and I'm like, "What?" Like, holy shit! Damn, that's a lot of money for a Dynam airplane. Wow. So I mean, I got to admit, the PT-17 was the last Dynam plane I got, and that, but they sent me that one free. That was the first free airplane I ever got. Yeah, Dynam sent me that free, and I did 3 different reviews on it. I did a photo shoot with it, and I did a boxing, the unboxing, the build, and a flight video. So I think I did four. I think I did 4 or 5 videos on that plane. Um, so yeah, I'm. The quality of that was good though. I mean, the foam looked great. Not, you couldn't see the cells through the paint. The paint was really good. It didn't have too much to glue on. I think I had to put think the windshield on the fuselage, I think the two windshields. I don't think it came with a pilot because I was putting my little Kenny figure in the plane, for photo ops, just because it's hilarious to see Kenny in the plane. And then, so I don't think it came with pilots. I think somebody complained about that. How come it didn't come with pilots? So, yeah, I haven't got too much bad to say about the quality of that kit. It was a good airplane. I really like that plane. But yeah, just in general though, yeah, even that plane I think only retailed for like 229, something like that. It wasn't that expensive. So for them to come out with a plane that's 465, thanks. You know, now we're approaching our Motion RC money. So you guys drive all the way over here to Imperial to fly, but have you ever gone to any of the fields in Orlando and fly? You guys ever make it over there? Yeah, you're waiting on Motion for what? What did you order? Is that a secret? You got a top secret plane we don't yet know about yet? Something to win Florida Jets next year with? Wiggs, what's up? How you doing, man? Get in the hangar? F-15 with ejection seats? Is that what you're doing? I have an A10 that has ejection seat in it. And it's got an opening canopy from the radio and an ejection from the radio. Um, been seriously thinking about dialing that plane up to come compete against you at. They're going to put a live cockpit in it, have the canopy open and close, be able to eject the pilot. Yeah, nice color scheme. Maybe a desert camo. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. No ejection, just an F-15. Yeah. Which F-15 is that the Motion plane you're waiting on? The Motion F-15? How big is that one? It's the one I'm thinking of. It's damn small for a. I think it's an 80 or a 90 millimeter plane. Man, it's a small airplane. Yeah, I am, Wiggs. I'm just starting to. It's just hitting me. I was good up until about 5 minutes ago, and now it's lights out. Man, I'm fading fast. I was doing really good until just a few minutes ago. I started nodding off. So yeah, I'm struggling a little bit here. I'm going to be signing off here pretty quick. Either that or you guys are going to be watching me sleep because I'm going to just go out and that'll be it. So, wait, that's something else from motion, huh? Okay. Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, don't you think that plane's small for a 90 millimeter? I mean, it's not a very big airplane. I really wanted that plane because I wanted an F-15. But when I finally saw one out the field, I'm like, wow, that thing looks little. I don't know why, a 90 millimeter that small doesn't make sense to me. Even if it's a dual nozzle airplane, I think it's only got one 90 millimeter, right? Just like the Russian 130, the K-130, I think it is. That's what I have. I've got, you know, it's twin nozzle, but it's only got one fan in it. Ugh. You want to get to the field before sunrise? Oh God, you're one of those. Yeah, I can't do that because we fly off grass, and the dew on the grass. When you roll down the runway, freshly cut grass, it makes a mess. The airplane is just a mess. So I like to wait till the grass dries. I'll get there early sometimes. Sometimes I spend the night, but I always wait till like 10 before I fly because I want to make sure all the dew's dry. Otherwise, you got a muddy, dirty, cut grass all over the bottom of the wings, and it's pretty horrible. Yeah, it's not a fun day. I really don't like doing that. Yeah, I'm the same way. I'd rather fly late because I have night fly airplanes, so I like to fly from 6 until midnight, 1 o'clock, and then go home. So I've got at least about 3 hours of night flying after the sun goes down. So um, we don't have dew, really. Yeah, you do both morning and well, I do too sometimes. I mean, if I spend the night at the field, depending on what I'm going to go fly, yeah, I do both sometimes. We're going to be flying 4th of July. We've got a big fly-in, night fly, tons of fireworks. I'm going to try to live stream it from there. Um, Bo always buys a shitload of fireworks. I mean, a truckload. I don't know how many thousands of dollars he spends, but it's a lot of money. We basically have a 45-minute to an hour finale. They spend several hours setting it all up. You got tables and and they put everything in order and they set it up so they can just walk down the middle of a table with two lighters and they just go walk down the thing and just keep lighting fuses. And they have it timed so that they go in order, and it's pretty crazy. Mm. All right, Wigs. We'll see you later. Yeah, I'm gonna go too, guys. I'm losing it. So I'm gonna call it a night. Thanks for coming. Sorry I was late for you guys that got here. Appreciate you coming anyway. Yeah, just one of those. That's just one of those days. So, but I'll catch you next week, and maybe I should have an update on the Pontiac headlights by next week. And who knows? Maybe I'll have something airplane to talk about. Who knows? But we'll see you next week, guys. All right. So have a great night. Thanks for coming. Don't forget to hit that like button on the way out. And I'll catch you guys later. All right. See ya. Hmm. There we go. Couldn't find it.